Hello, it's Julie Davison from juliedavison.com. Welcome to my surprise live. It is Thursday, but I am 3 hours early from my normal video. We're still going to do that tonight over there on YouTube, and I just couldn't wait to share with you. So I decided to do a second surprise video today. All day I've been working on designing a card to share for our upcoming demonstrator training event called Vacation Stamping School. Now, if you've been following me for a while, I talk about this every year because we have done this demonstrator training event every single year for 19 years. This is our 19th year. I can hardly believe that. It's so exciting. That we have done this so much. So it is now been, since COVID, a virtual event, which is so awesome because we can include not only our team members across the country, but we can open it up to everybody. So this event is open to all demonstrators in the US and all demonstrators worldwide. We've got some exciting content that we are preparing for you, including suite spotlight demonstrations featuring 6 different suites from the new upcoming September through December mini catalog. You are going to love these presentations. We have some talented stampers who always come through. I'm organizing this event with 5 other leaders from our overall team, and we've been working together on this event for these 19 years. And so there also will be several, I think 3, maybe 4 business demonstrations with tips. And then my favorite part is the class that we do. So we call it a mix and match class because we're going to present 6 different projects using the same suite. This year, we're using the new Sentimental Christmas suite that's coming out in the mini catalog. And so each of us leaders who are organizing are designing a project to share with you. So you'll have a written tutorial, a video tutorial, and you can mix and match these projects and use them as demonstrators to create your own class or use 1 or 2 projects at an event that you're having for your customers, or you can just stamp them because you love stamping and want to enjoy creating. So today I was working on designing my project, and as I work through my design process, I usually start by casing the catalog. And so I've made several cards that I can share with you because I'm not saving them for the event. And so I just thought I'd jump on and show you some projects that I have been creating today using the Sentimental Christmas. Now, if you are interested in attending Vacation Stamping School, you can find the link in the video description. You can also go here to tinyurl.com/2024 VSS for Vacation Stamping School. The last day for demonstrators to register is this coming up Saturday. I feel like this month has just gone by so quickly. So if you've been thinking about registering, then you want to make sure that you do that before Saturday so you don't miss out. Now, there will be an option to still register for the virtual only event after Saturday, but if you want to get the swag box, which includes this new designer paper and some other goodies from the Sentimental Christmas suite, then you want to make sure to do that. Now, if you're a customer and you're not a demonstrator, I will be having a class featuring these projects for you in October, maybe early November. So stay tuned for details on that. You'll still have the opportunity to create some of the same projects. You won't enjoy some of the other elements of this Vacation Stamping School event, but we will have an opportunity to do the class. However, I do have a product share. And so if you love to get a little bit of all the designer paper without having to buy all the packs yourself, the mini catalog product shares are always so popular, and I'm happy to offer this again. So you can check out all the information here. This is for US only customers. It is tinyurl.com/SD2024 product share. And you can find all that, the link in the video description here, all the information about my product share there. But it includes a 6x6 piece of all of the new designer paper. It includes a yard each of all the new ribbon. And so it's just a great sampling of those new products. So you can try out and see what you like, and then get bigger packs if you really love it. So the projects that I'm sharing today, you'll be able to create using the paper that comes in your product share. or you can make them if you're getting a whole package yourself. Now, I'm not allowed to open the catalog yet, but if you have your catalog, open up to page 28 and 29 to see the Sentimental Christmas Suite. I'm going to be showing you the projects that I cased from the catalog on page 28. But before we do that, let me tell you about this awesome designer paper. Now, the Sentimental Christmas designer paper definitely has that classic Christmas vintage feel of those Christmas cards and imagery that we see from the 40s and the 50s. So fun and beautiful. And I have to say, this paper is not necessarily one that I was drawn to right away. It's just not necessarily my style, but I committed to it because I love that Stampin' Up! Is doing this paper for their Making a Difference campaign. They do this every year. Sometimes it's a stamp set, sometimes it's designer paper. And so for every package of the Sentimental Christmas designer paper that is sold, Stampin' Up! Is going to donate $3 to children's literacy. I love that, and I'm so excited that we're featuring it in our Vacation Stamping School event. So everyone who signs up for the swag box for Vacation Stamping School is going to get a whole package of this designer paper, and you'll have plenty to use for the projects and for all the other inspiring things that we're going to share with you. So this paper is 12 by 12, and it is double-sided. We've got some great colors here with some pretty peacock, pecan pie, some garden green, shaded spruce, a little bit of old olive in there too. Poppy Parade, I think real red kind of goes as well. Basic beige, that new color. I love basic beige. I just had to order some more because I ran out. Check out those trees. This paper is so beautiful. So like I said, I've been casing the catalog. That is kind of how I start crafting when I am starting with a new catalog. And so sometimes I copy the project idea exactly how it is. If you're looking at page 28 of that new mini catalog, you're going to see this one is pretty close to exactly what it is in the catalog. And I know sometimes it's hard when you are trying to case the catalog because you don't necessarily have the measurements. And so I'm going to share a project today we're going to stamp together. And I will give you the measurements for that project. But I just kind of guess. I sort of try to gauge the amount of space around the edges, and it doesn't have to be exactly, it doesn't have to be perfect how it is in the catalog, but I love the way this one turned out. So there is a stamp, and I stamped that in the background, and then I die cut this from the designer paper. And the designer paper has these awesome colored pencil images that are all hand-drawn by Stampin' Up! Concept artists. And so you'll never find these images anywhere else. These are exclusive to Stampin' Up! And I just love that. The artwork is always so beautiful. I used a stamp to create the main image on this card, and this is one that I also case. Now, case stands for copy and share everything, or I like copy and selectively edit, because I always like to make some tweaks and make some changes. So on this one, the designer paper on the original card actually filled the entire card, and I wanted to break up that pattern, and so I put it on a Poppy Parade card base, and I just brought the designer paper up a little bit. I also changed up the sentiment. I used a circle instead of a square and changed the color up, but I stamped this with pecan pie, and then I colored with some Stampin' blends just to add a little color to the holly leaves and berries behind there. Let's celebrate the season. Okay, so that was another one I cased, and then I also copied this one. I really love this one, and you'll see when you look in the catalog on page 28, the original card sample actually used different designer paper. It used the pattern like this that they cut apart, and I used a different pattern that had the trees and the pine. There's also a lantern in one corner of this. And so I took the same concept and I changed out the paper. So I did by editing, and I changed the paper and the colors a little bit to suit my own needs. And I have to say, I really love this combination here with the pecan pie and the pretty peacock. Oh my gosh, love, 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 love. Okay, so today I want to show you a fourth project that I've cased from the catalog on the same page, on page 28. And then I not only copied it, but I then came back and I made the same layout with different papers from the mini catalog. You guys are going to love this layout. So let me put these over here. I'm going to bring in my cardstock pieces to share with you. So I'm using basic beige for the card base. It's 5.5 by 8.5. And then I have a piece for the inside, 4 inches by 5 1/4. I'll put these measurements, I'll try to put them in the video description for you when we're done. There's going to be a banner piece, and this one is shaded spruce, and it is 2.5 inches by 2 3/4 inches. And then I have a piece of designer paper that is 3 inches by 3.5, and so I chose to use the stripes for this one. And I've got a 2 3/8 inch circle with the basic beige. I love my punches. I probably use the 2-inch punch more than the others, but the 2 3/8 inch is definitely up there in a most used. For the sentiment, I have a little piece of Poppy Parade. It is 7/8 inch by 1.5 inch. I have a little scrap of white that I'm going to stamp and die cut, and then a little bit of this awesome ribbon that is part of the suite. In fact, the other part of the suite are the Druzy gems. Oh my gosh, these are so amazing. They are very bulky, so they're quite significant in their depth, in their width, but they're really beautiful. So definitely a non-machinable accessory to add to your card, but they're gorgeous, so they're a must. Okay, so I'm going to start with the images that I'm stamping. Put these pieces just aside here, and I'm going to focus over here on the stamped images. So I want to bring in, if you're looking at page 28, you'll see the card. You'll know which one I'm doing. It's the one with the candles on the right side of the page. And so I'm going to do a little stamping here. Now, if you follow me, you know that I don't necessarily love to color. I always kind of put that off. However, I do think that the smaller images like this one are a lot easier to color. So I don't mind coloring this one. It's a nice small image. I'm using my Stampin' blends, and I'm going to start with the light shaded spruce to color in these leaves. And then I'm going to go back and add a little bit of the dark shaded spruce to add a little detail. Now I took the color from the designer paper, especially because I'm using those beautiful stripes. But there are several different greens in these designer papers, so you can use any green here that you'd like. But I like shaded spruce, especially for Christmas. I think it's just a perfect kind of Christmas green. Do you have a green? Do you have a favorite color that you use for Christmas? A favorite green or a favorite green and red combination? Leave a comment and let me know. Which green, which red you guys like. I'm going to use some real red, and I don't know, I gotta double check. Are there Poppy Parade Stampin' blends? Because I don't have any. So I'm just using my real red. I'm going to go light here and then add just a little touch of the dark. And I find that the light real red Stampin' blend is pretty close to Poppy Parade. So I'll add just a little line for some dimension on there. I know it's so hard to see. I'll do a close-up. I'm using my light smoky slate to kind of fill in the shadow here on the candles. I want these to be white candles, so I don't want to add a lot of color there, but I do kind of want to just sort of indicate those shadows. I'm also adding a little bit around the bottom. And then some Daffodil Delight for the candle flame, starting with the light and then going back with the dark. And you know, the one thing I always seem to forget to bring in is a little bit of Wink of Stella. So I am gonna add that to the candle wax, to the candle. I'm just gonna put it on the flame as well, and the berries. You know what? I'm just gonna Wink of Stella everything. I love Wink of Stella. You can never have too much Wink of Stella. So here's a close-up, and oh my gosh, you guys, check out the adorable dies that go with this bundle. Sentimental Wishes. It has a little mini die envelope, and so all the dies here die cut the stamped images. There's 4 of them, plus a little detailed leaf. And I just love that we don't have a ton of dies. So the price point for this bundle is nice and low. It's just a really great stamp set to mix and match with this designer paper. But if you don't get the stamp set, you can still make some really beautiful cards with this designer paper and use other stamp sets that you have at home. So there is a die that coordinates with the candles. And so I am going to send that through my die cutting machine and cut that out to do like that little magic of TV. One thing I will mention really quick. So the stocking die coordinates with not only the stamp, but also with the designer paper. It's going to cut out that designer paper image. I don't think that any of the other images appear in the designer paper and coordinate with the dies, but the, oh no, actually, yes, right here, because I used it. The bow also does coordinate. Where's the bow in here? Let's check that out really quick. Is this paper just so beautiful? I fussy cut one of those on a card that I created. And oh, it's right here. Okay, so on this page we have the stocking and the bow, and both of those do fit the die cut. Hi Joan, hi Lydia and Bonnie. I'm so glad you guys are joining me. This is sort of just a spur of the moment, just a surprise live. I just wanted to share because I'm so excited playing with these new products. Okay, so let's move the markers out of the way. I'm going to bring in my my grid paper, because the next thing I'm going to stamp is that circle. So again, this is basic beige, and here's my little cheat for someone who doesn't like to color. You don't have to color everything. I'm going to take my shaded spruce with that holly stamp, and I'm going to stamp that on the basic beige and kind of use this as a background. So it doesn't have to be colored. It's fine just the way it is. Just like I did on this card, I stamped without coloring, and then I used the cheat, the die cutting from the designer paper that has all the color on it. All right, so I've got my, my holly. I also want to stamp the sentiment for the front is going to say, for someone special, and I'm stamping this on the Poppy Parade cardstock. Okay, so I've got some of my pieces here put together, and if you're just joining, I am casing some projects from the new mini catalog. I'm on page 28 and I can't show you the catalog, but if you have yours at home, you can open up and check out on page 28 and you'll see which one I am copying. For my inside piece, let's do some stamping while we've got the stamps out. I'm going to add some of those holly leaves here at the bottom and just kind of do a little border. And then I'm going to add a sentiment at the top with the Poppy Parade. Poppy Parade is not my first choice for Christmas. I don't think I would have put these two colors together. It's just kind of a bright red. I usually use real red, but Poppy Parade is a refreshing red for Christmas, I think. So I'm going to do Have a Very Merry Christmas on the inside. I always like to stamp my inside. Do you guys stamp the inside of your cards? All right, we have got all the stamping done. We are going to bring in our other pieces here so we can put our card together. I gave you those measurements already, and I'll add them to the video description for you. We're going to take that shaded spruce cardstock and add a little banner on one end. So I'm going to take my scissors, and my favorite way to do a little banner tip is just to cut up the center. So I'm going about a 1/2 inch or so, maybe closer to 3/4, right up the center, and then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to try to do this in one stroke. I'm going to cut from the corner to the top of that center cut, and so that kind of cuts away, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I have found that this is an easy way to have a even banner and avoid cutting on both sides. So start in the center and then from each corner up. All right, so we're going to add our designer paper to the top. I'm going to just use some regular Stampin' Seal adhesive. And this is going to go centered on the banner. And then I'm going to add, nope, this goes over the top. Let's see what I'm doing. I'm trying to remember, looking at my sample. Oh, I think I need to replace the cutting blade on my paper trimmer. It keeps fraying. Let's go ahead and glue this on the inside. And then on the front, I am going to do regular adhesive. Add that right to the center. And for my circle, I'm going to add a little adhesive across the bottom of the circle and then add the ribbon. I love to use ribbon like this in a flat way so that it doesn't get too bulky for mailing. So I'm going to keep it flat and I'm going to cut the ends here. And this is going to go right in the center. Can you see it coming together? I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals, both under the circle and then also under the sentiment and the candle as well. Okay, so that's going to go right in the center. And one under there, one, two under here. Okay, you guys have to let me know, yay or nay, is this a suite? Is this designer paper one that you've had your eye on? Were you looking at this one in the catalog? Called Sentimental Christmas on page 28 and 29. Like I said, it wasn't one that I initially was drawn to, but I've been having so much fun playing with this suite. Let's add some embellishments now. We gotta add some sparkle. This has two different colors. One is sort of a champagne color and the other is like a silver. So I am going to, you know what, I think I'm gonna try silver this time. Last time I used the champagne colored, and I'll show you what that looks like and you guys can tell me which color you prefer. I'm gonna put it right there. Okay. So here's the silver, and here is the champagne color. I'm gonna move that. A little glue dot. I gotta make sure I peel off the the little glue dot with it. I'm always changing my mind. Well, I think it actually has it on there still. Okay, so this or that, silver or champagne. Tell me which of those colors you prefer for the embellishments. And I'm sure as you're looking at the catalog, you can see the resemblance. It's pretty clear. Now, I did change, I didn't use as many candles. The original sample had a couple different die cut candles, and it also had an embossed sentiment on a different color cardstock. So I changed them up just a little bit. But I prefer the simplified version of it. Oh, Carol says she likes the champagne. Yeah, that's the first one I went with. That was sort of my instinct. But I think they're both good options. Now, I promised you I have some other samples using this same layout because you know how I love my layouts. So, here is the card with the candles. I used the same designer paper and the same layout and just changed up and used some different patterns. So for this one, I punched the 2 3/8 inch circle punch. I punched out one of the deer and fussy cut the little bird on the branch from the same paper pattern. And I added a few of those little embellishments down there. I used the same colors, the basic beige and shaded spruce. And I think compared to the original, I do love the candle version of this card as opposed to the deer, but the deer is just so stinking cute. But I didn't stop there. I kept going as I usually do, and I created a card with the Nests of Winter designer paper. This is another new suite coming out in the mini catalog, and so this designer paper is included in the product share. So that's what I love about the product share. You get a little bit of everything. So you can make all of these cards I'm sharing using paper from the designer paper. From the product share. All right, so I punched that again with the 2 3/8 inch circle punch and cut the designer paper the same sizes I used on the original card. This has got pecan pie for the card base and some early espresso for the banner. And I didn't stop there. I also used the snowy scenes to create a card. This one a little bit more whimsical with pool party and garden green. I fussy cut the little snow globe from the designer paper and then layered it all together. Is this pom-pom ribbon just the funnest? I love it. It's got pool party and then these little white fluffy pom-poms on the edges of the ribbon. And then I used some of the new snowflake embellishments as well. I did bring in some retired vellum just because it was so perfect. I couldn't help myself, but you could leave that off. I just loved the soft sort of globe look from that. I didn't stop there. I have one more for you. Another one of my favorite suites in the catalog is the Regal Winter. Oh my goodness. The Blackberry Bliss and Pretty Peacock combination is so gorgeous. I stamped some coordinating images from that stamp set and used Blackberry Bliss for the card base, designer paper for the banner, and a little circle of wild wheat. Another new ribbon here with the Blackberry Bliss that has the gold border. So gorgeous. These colors are my vibe. So whether you're using Regal Winter or Snowy Scenes or Nested Winter or Sentimental Christmas, I think you'll find this card layout to be super versatile and one that you'll want to turn to again and again. I always feel so inspired when I case the catalog, and I hope that you are inspired by the projects that I shared today. Just one last reminder, if you're interested in signing up for Vacation Stamping School, you want to register by this Saturday, August 31st. We're going to be featuring the Sentimental Christmas designer paper in our 6 projects that are included in our mix and match project class. So I'm super excited about that. Go to tinyurl.com/2024VSS. Again, this is for demonstrators, a demonstrator training event. I will have a similar class with similar projects coming up for everyone, and that's going to be later in October, I think. So stay tuned for details about that. And also a reminder about my product share. If you're interested in getting a little bit of all the designer paper that's coming out in the new mini catalog so you can case your own projects, make sure to sign up now so I can get all of that ordered when the new mini catalog launches next week on Wednesday, September 4th. You can go to tinyurl.com/SD2024 product share. The link is in the video description for both of these. So just a reminder to get signed up for that. Now, I will be live at my normal time at 7:15 p.m. Central Time right now on Thursday. So in just a couple hours over on my YouTube channel. So tune in for the regular Thursday night stamp therapy. But I'm so happy that you joined me today for this little surprise live. I hope that you have a fabulous rest of your week. And I will see you again very soon with another paper crafting video. Bye, everybody.